And we're back on TSPN. And we have with us...
We have Nick Ragusano. Nick, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for
Same.
being on the show. I'm Monique.
And we talked about your background a little bit. You're a retired teacher
Yes,
from San Ramon.
San Ramon, right.
And how'd you end up in our area?
Well, we decided to move up here back in '97, and I commuted back and forth for a few years, and then we retired up here in 2000.
All right.
Oh, great.
So I've been up here ever since.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, we've got the Amador Alliance for Arts Education.
That's correct.
And as you said, the retired teachers never really retire. I guess.
No.
So how were you a teacher of the arts when you were teaching?
Yes, I was.
And what section, what area?
My major was music, but I got into theater, and when I went into the classroom, incorporated the visual performing arts as a routine part of the classroom, is integral with what we did. So that's where it was.
So where did the idea come from? Is Amador Alliance for the Arts? Did you form it? Did you
No,
join
well,
it?
the Alliance is an offshoot of the California Alliance for Arts Education. We're the local agency network here. And our parent organization, of course, is the Amador Arts. And our purpose is that we're trying to, again, to move toward the full inclusion of the arts education, all four disciplines, into the schools from K through 12.
Which is obviously it's a big measure because of funding and lack of funding. I'm sure that you have to work twice as hard to get the same programs in place.
Right now, yes, and we've had that funding problem, and also we've had a situation over the past decade where folks have kind of pushed it aside a little bit because they're doing the testing and everything else. But the pendulum on this is all, again, swinging back a little bit, and we're seeing a movement to saying it's necessary. With Common Core coming into play, the visual and performing arts really fits very, very well into that whole thing.
When we're talking about education, especially in the high school years, test scores are important. But really, colleges are not only looking for that now. They're looking for the well-rounded individual.
Absolutely.
Art plays a big part in that.
Absolutely. We had some studies done over the past few years, and one of the things that came out is that International Business Machines, IBM, surveyed 1,541 CEOs. Now, that's a fairly hefty number.
Quite a few, yeah.
And they said, all of them, creativity is the most important leadership quality they are looking for.
Wow.
And
good.
in fact, Rick Gallagher, a senior engineer at Boeing, commented, I'm reading an exact quote from him, that says, to compete in the global marketplace, I need employees who are well-rounded and have the skill sets that they have learned from the arts.
Wow, did I hit that one right on the head?
Yes, you did. So, yes, and we're finding this more and more, that students have to come out of high schools and colleges and universities, not just looking inside the box,
Right.
but looking outside the box. We can call it coloring outside the lines, so to
Right.
speak.
That's got to start early with a child, though, to get their interest, or can it be picked up at any time?
It should start early. We're looking at an approach that says K-12. Okay. But at any point in time, a student, a child can begin getting into this and being able to find their creativity. We look at it in a number of ways. Not only is it a point for higher education or high level or high quality education, we look at the idea of visual and performing arts as a way for students to be able to identify themselves, to say, this is who I am.
Individuality.
Yes, you've got it, right. And the creativity end of it has to come through.
Similar to what we had earlier, where the AAUW is taking girls down to robotics and computers.
Oh my gosh,
and
yes. Talk about thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just looking at the stuff in the books, it's hands-on, and that's all creative stuff. Those kinds of things go hand in hand. So when we look at visual and performing arts, we're not just looking at, okay, can you dance, can you sing, can you draw, can you play an instrument? We're looking at how does that fit into your whole world of action and
Right,
activities.
your whole lifestyle. I think a lot of that hopefully comes from when children are young, their parents nurture them into reading, and then they're obviously looking at the illustrations at the
Oh,
same
yes,
time,
yes, yes.
and then it goes on to maybe simple music. You know, I've been really active with my daughter. She plays the piano, and it's something that we've worked on since she was about 4, you know, not always consistently, but for years she's been playing, and
Absolutely.
that really
Yes.
kind of gets her creative mind thinking.
Your parent organization is Amador Arts. What
Correct.
does the Alliance do specifically with kids? Are you coming up
We
with
don't
programs?
actually do it with kids. What we are doing is promoting. We do the
Okay.
advocacy to push, to involve community leaders in trying to encourage more of the arts into the schools. And so we look at it from that direction. We're not dealing specifically with the students.
Awareness is so important. I think a lot
Exactly.
of times we just aren't educated enough to know what kind of options, how can we participate in this?
Yeah, exactly, and to that end, this Friday, for instance, we're having our second annual breakfast of the Alliance, and our guest speaker, Patty Larrick, will be speaking about how this whole thing comes together into Common Core, because that's such a big,
Where
big
and
push.
when is that?
This is going to be at Tommy's at 7 o'clock or 7:15 in the morning.
Is it open to the public?
It's not exactly open to the public. We've been inviting, but if there are any community leaders who are really interested, give us a call.
Okay,
Let
how do
us
they reach
know.
you?
They can reach me at my email address, nrjr@volcano.net.
Great.
Okay, and we're going to have you repeat that when we come back.
Okay,
But right now, we have to go to our final break, and we'll be right back.
very good.
Hi, Rich Hoffman at Jackson Rancheria Casino Resort, where